Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we are doing a Natsuo X listener because Natsuo is such an underrated character, but I love him. So, let's get into it. I ran through the campus, my hair fluttering behind me along with some of my papers that didn't matter at the moment. Oh god, I'm gonna be late. I can't let myself be late. Speeding up my pace, I threw caution to the wind, no longer worrying about dropping my stuff or tripping over my feet. Somehow, I managed to keep my natural clumsiness in check, arriving into my class just before it started. I glanced around the lecture hall, seeing that most of the seats were already taken, and of course, nobody that I knew was there. With a quiet sigh, I sucked up my nerves and chose one of the open seats that was next to the person that I deemed as most approachable within the span of about 5 seconds. This seat taken? My voice was barely above a whisper as I pointed to the chair, instantly grabbing the attention of the white-haired male. Not at all. Please, sit down, he responded with an unexpected cheer. His smile so bright that it was almost blinding. Relief flooded through you as you pulled the chair out, grinning back at him. Looks like I made the right choice. Class began shortly after, not even giving you enough time to catch his name. As expected, it was excruciatingly boring. The only thing keeping you from falling asleep was the pair of eyes that you kept feeling. Every once in a while, throughout the lecture, the guy next to you would steal a quick glance, his eyes only flittering over you for a second. It was still enough to make you feel self-conscious, though, as your pencil scratched against your paper. By the end of the lecture, his pencil had stopped completely, and his eyes were trained on you. With a small smile on his face, you let out a small breath, shaking your hand that was tired from writing so furiously. Your face was warm when you turned to meet his gaze, his stunning gray eyes piercing through yours. The subtle grin on his face accented his natural handsome features perfectly, his pure white hair bringing out the intensity of his irises. At my small mumble, his eyes widened and his face went slightly red. Oh, sorry, I was staring, wasn't I? He laughed bashfully, scratching the back of his head. I was just thinking about how I wanted to know your name. His gaze matched yours again, his eyes surprisingly soft. You could practically feel the blush claiming territory over your cheeks and ears. Blushed. You fiercely tried to calm yourself on the inside. Ellen Ryan. You were able to retain enough composure to mumble your name, which only made the boys smile more. Nice to officially meet you. He stuck out a large hand, inviting you to take it. I'm Todoroki Natsuo. Please, if there's any deity that's willing to listen to me, please let my hand not be sweaty. After mimicking something of a prayer in your mind, you shook his hand back, really glad that you had picked this seat. The next day, you got to class a little early, feeling slightly excited. You kept trying to convince yourself that it was just because you weren't late again. But you weren't fooling anyone. You really just wanted to see Todoroki again. Don't be surprised if he's not here, Ryan. You're like 15 whole minutes early. If anything, he's gonna think that you're a weirdo who the fuck gets to class this early? Just before you reach the classroom, your reflection shone back in a polished window. Oh me, I do. Oi, Ellen-san, someone called out to you. You whipped your head around to see Todoroki sprinting in your direction. You can slow down, we're super early. I'm gonna beat you to class. He sprinted past you, the wind from his speed ruffling the loose edges of your clothes and papers. What? No way! You jumped into action, running with all your might to catch up to him. As you ran, you got a view of his broad shoulders that made themselves visible through his jacket. The hem of his jacket flapping as he ran, ending right above his... Your eyes went wide as your whole body began to heat up from the dirty thoughts. Stop, brain. Please stop it. I said stop. As your fantasies powered on, you lost focus and tripped over nothing but air, which was unfortunately a very common occurrence in your life. Whoa! You pitched forward, your stuff flying out of your hands like a typical scene from a slice of life anime. Before you could collide with the ground, though, a pair of strong arms caught you, your face now against a muscular chest. You okay, Wyan-san? You glanced up to see a big pair of gray eyes staring back at you, filled with concern. Okay, where's my theme song? Because if this isn't cliche romance anime, then I don't know what is. It still counts even though it's in college, not high school, right? As thoughts swirled around in your head, you ended up staring back at him for a second before realizing what he had asked you. Oh, yeah, I'm good. Stuff like that happens to me a lot. Laughing nervously, you averted your eyes because you couldn't take his gaze any longer. I feel like those eyes see right through me. His hand shifted, moving from your back up to your cheek, which didn't help calm your pounding heart in any way, shape, or form. His fingers softly caressed your face before tucking a stray lock of hair behind your ear. Todoroki kept looking at you, his gaze soft even though it made you feel like you were melting. You were locked in his arms, your stuff littering the empty hallway as you were trapped by his eyes. Todoroki gasped, the sudden sound making you flinch. I was staring again. With a groan he let go of you, bringing a palm to his face. The action made you giggle as you began to pick up all the things that you had dropped, Todoroki quickly helping. Thanks. He handed me some of my papers that had fallen out of your notebook. And when you went to grab them, you felt his hands brush against yours. Your stomach dropped against your will as you quickly took them, stuffing them back into your book. Crap, another cliche moment. Why do I like this kind of stuff? A few weeks went by after that, and the two of you began to settle into a routine. Meet up early before class, sit in the same seats next to one another, and then text or call later that day. It was nice getting to know him, but you had caught on to one thing. Every day, at least once, you'd catch him staring at you. Not in a perverted way, simply gazing at your face with the same sweet smile. As you scribbled down the professor's words yet again, you felt a familiar sensation. Sure enough, Todoroki's pencil had stopped moving, and he looked at you with his head resting on his hand. Todoroki-kun, you're gonna miss stuff, you whispered, knowing that if you didn't say anything, then he would ask you for notes later that night, like he always did. Ah, sorry. He slapped his palms against his cheeks, going back to taking the notes in his messy scrawl that you had grown to understand. You closed your notebook with finesse as Todoroki sighed, slumping down on his desk. That was worse than usual, he mumbled into his arms, only one gray iris poking out. You playfully flicked his head, your fingers brushing against his spiky white hair, for only a second. Maybe that's because you actually paid attention for the whole lesson. I can't help it, Todoroki chuckled, lifting his head to make full eye contact with you this time. I have a bad habit of staring at things that I find beautiful. And that's the end. I was gonna read a different Natsuo X listener, but it left me on a cliffhanger, and I was kind of upset about that, and I'm too lazy to write out a second part. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Yeah. If you would like to, you can go to my Discord. The link is going to be in the description, along with the art and fanfiction. So yeah. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!